you have traded Gobert to a team like the Pelicans, and if I'm looking at a team now with Ingram, like let's say you get Ingram and three firsts. If I get Ingram and three firsts for the Pelicans for Gobert, do I like that team better with Towns, Naz, front court, Ingram at the 4/3, and McDaniels? I there are some hypotheticals here, and I'm sure they like looked around. Or actually, I'm not sure because Tim
Does
Con.
that money match up decently well?
I think so. I mean, Ingram is on a weird situation.
Got a
I
max?
sorry, let me just be sure I'm not messing this up. So yeah, has a weird situation where he is expiring this year, but right now his contract would be enough to match Gobert because he's at 37 and Gobert's at like 43. So you get like you find 4 mil in the way. But that's kind of for both, like don't get me wrong, that's a huge win for the Pelicans. But I wonder for the T Wolves, like if you could I like the Pelicans have no one to trade for right now, and they're about to walk into the season starting Daniel Tice. And like if I'm the T Wolves, could I have just held the Pelicans at gunpoint? Nah, we want Ingram and five first. Throw in Alvarado. Throw in this person. And I just wonder if there were teams that like that who were super desperate. And I think there are teams. 'Cause I think, frankly, I think
Yeah.
the Knicks were pretty desperate, and they just kind of this fell into the lap.
Oh my God, imagine if they offered Rudy and we took it.
I mean, honestly, though, a side note, Rudy for Randall straight up is a super spicy trade. I actually don't hate that at all.
I'm gonna log off.
I know, I know.
I don't even want to hear your take on that. It'll make me too upset.
No, I mean, and I have my issues with Rudy, which is why I would have traded him first. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the guy. But then when you
The
just
Pelicans would be, dude, if you're telling the Pelicans, like, hey, you need a center, how about the defensive player of the year? And like we're doing it for this guy who's always been a weird fit, like you might be able to ransom them a little bit
yeah,
for some picks.
but that's another one of my issues just with this T Wolves trade. I've been bashing it all pod, and I'll probably keep bashing it all season. But yeah,
I just don't know if they go for Brandon Ingram
I don't think so either because you have to
if you're the
extend Brandon
Timberwolves.
Ingram. I don't
Right.
because the thing is, then you're in the same problem as Randall. But would you have just been more down to run that problem with Ingram than run that problem with Randall? I don't know.
Yeah. I remember when we first heard about the Rudy to the mini trade, and I remember everyone was saying, like, what the fuck is
Right.
Minnesota doing? Like trading all those picks for Rudy. And I still think Rudy's a bitch, but like I think that they're looking at it and being like, wait, we had Cat for however many years, 10 years. We're now getting good that we've added in Rudy, adding in Anthony Edwards scoring. Maybe Cat's been the problem the whole time. So I don't know if they would have even done that with the Pelicans because I think they like the defensive intensity and like identity that Rudy brings, and Cat just doesn't do that.
And you can find 20-point per game scorers easier than you can find a guy who can anchor a whole defense. You know, just in a vacuum. Like that's not what Cat's not just a 20-point per game scorer. He's also a center. Like that's like.
But I get what you're saying.
But like in a vacuum, like yeah.